I've been talking to a lot of, and this time I've been talking to a lot of CEOs and asking them, what are those three key elements other than your work that you're addressing in the organization? Other than the ESG and commenting on the societal issues, one of the key elements that everybody is talking about is health and well-being of the employees. And especially with the way the attrition is happening, and especially the way the startups and today's young generation is saying, listen, enough is enough in a day. The health and well-being is becoming a very key element to a lot of CXOs. And that is just to add on to what you just said, that it is just not inspiring, but it's become a key corporate agenda today for the senior leaders to address. So yes, the fitness is definitely becoming
But I think
front.
the concerns you expressed are very relevant. It shouldn't be made into something where people feel excluded. It should be done in a manner that people feel inspired. So it should have a very inclusive approach. People should feel that they want to do it.
Different people will have different journeys to that goal, right? Like I said, I may just go for a walk and arrive at that goal. You might want to do functional training. I may say, okay, I'll manage a bit with my diet and a bit with my easy walk. There should be no pressure on anyone to do it the same way.
Yeah, no, and Mr. Sethi, it's also
And
the
no
question.
disincentives and no incentives.
There should be no competitiveness in it. It should be inspirational.
What is your motivation for being fit is also a key question to address here. Like for me, the motivation is that as I'm growing older, I should remain in motion, because what is the point of doing everything that when you reach a certain age, you cannot even get up from the bed? So my motivation of remaining fit is to remain in motion. So I spend 90 minutes every day. Either I'm walking or I'm doing yoga or I'm training, functional training. I also do functional training, by the way, or doing anything or playing cricket or playing any sport. Irrespective, doesn't matter. But 365 days a year, I'm traveling or doing whatever. I'm spending those 90 minutes on my fitness just because what my motivation is to remain in motion. And if I don't do that, I feel, will I be able to get up next day in the morning and walk? So it is also about what motivates you to remain fit is also a key.
See, I'll just address that point you made. Actually, many of my doctor friends say, eat healthy and just walk for 45 minutes a day. And brisk walk, some people even say a brisk walk is also not needed. So long as you're walking for 45 minutes, you don't have to break into a sweat. Even gentle walking is as good as brisk walking or a light jog or whatever. But I'll tell you where there is a difference. And if you look at all your siblings or you look at all your family members, extended circle of friends, and people who have, you see, unfortunately we have a sedentary life. We have a sedentary life. Our corporate life, you're sitting on a table, you're attending a meeting or a conference, you're going for a lunch, you're meeting somebody over coffee, or you're taking some guys out for a drink, or you have a late dinner. Or what are you doing? What is it that you're doing in terms of, okay, burning away those calories? What are you doing for your knees? What are you doing for your joints? What are you doing for your bones? What are you doing for your spine? What are you doing for your lungs with all the pollution and everything else? COVID comes and hits you. How does it give you the resilience to bounce out of it? So listen, I'll be quite honest. While 45 minutes of walking is good, is it enough of an aerobic activity? Is it pumping your heart rate up? Is it pushing you to exercise your limbs? Very simple, no? Can you walk 10 floors of a building and not collapse? You see, do we need that fitness? There are some people who go to Sabrimala and they cover the entire hill. They just climb it up in about 1 hour. Many others take 3 hours to do it. Where does that fitness come from? So it's, you see, I'm just saying it's just a matter of degree. All right. We cannot de-emphasize the benefits to health, benefits to, and there is a social dimension to all of us also. We have time to spend time with our family, but we also need some time I mean, I'm catching up with him after such a long time, but this is not it's a topic on fitness, and thanks to fitness, we are getting to meet. So fitness is good.
I don't think there's any doubt about the fact that as you age, you need to eat more protein. As you age, you probably need to do some amount of resistance training, whether you're doing weights or you're doing functional, because your muscle mass is degenerating at a higher rate. So you need to keep it built back. Otherwise, your joints will go. All kinds of things will happen. So there's no doubt about the power of fitness or being focused on fitness. I think the place where I keep coming back to, and at least the way I've observed the world around us, fitness is not in India. For two categories of people, indulging in fitness is not the easiest thing to do. One is women, because of just the number of additional chores that they need to do. And the second is it becomes a lot easier as you get more flexibility in life, which is as you go up the economic, because if you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you really don't have time, 90 minutes to sometimes spend time doing which is not economically value added.
Till you're a time billionaire, you cannot
So you have to
really
be a time billionaire to be able to do some of this. But since we're talking to a specific audience of hopefully XLers and that, women find it a lot more difficult to find time for fitness because they just do so many more things than men do. So how do you make fitness inclusive? And I think that's the point, the words you use, and I love that. And that is, I think, a good challenge for a business institute from a research agenda to try and solve for.
resonates so much with me because that resonates a lot with me. Because while I find a lot of time to do what I want to do, my wife, who loves to walk, who taught me how to play squash, she would love to go for a yoga class or the gym, just doesn't have the bandwidth. Because between her work and the house and the children, for her to even have the energy and the time to go for a walk in the morning is sometimes just not, and it resonates so much with me. Yeah, I agree with. And even at this life stage. So, yeah.
So, as a CEO of a company, obviously, most CEOs are aware of their need for personal, mental, and physical fit. How much is a responsibility towards your people of driving this? Either as a voluntary thing or forcing people to, let's say, do annual medical health checkup as a compulsory. I'll give you an example. Pre-COVID, I was CEO of Aptech, and there's World Diabetes Day, and BMC had free camps. So I got it we had some 400 in that building, and it was voluntary. 100 opted, out of which 5 had serious level of diabetes. They didn't even know. Now, then my HR guy said, no, we should make every year medical checkup and we will fund it as compulsory. I said, do you want to make compulsory, voluntary? Let's work on it. But this is a dilemma I was facing. I was concerned with everyone's health, and to have 5 people or 4-5 people with, this was not whatever type I forget, it was extremely high diabetes. They didn't even know. That triggered in the company, need for being fitter. But how much should it be driven by just motivation? How much should it be driven by a little bit of nudge, and how much little bit of compulsion?
I have found it very useful to mandate 45 and above annual medical checkup. Paid for by the company. No, paid for by the company. The company fixes up a date with so and so hospital. We allow you a half a day off. The HR coordinates the time. It was in one of my earlier companies, and we expect you to go. Not going is not an option. Already you're not able to go, then you reschedule it. It's fine. But why? You're absolutely right. Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol. If you discover it early, that employee can lead a good, happy life over a protracted period of time. Why? Something like breast cancer. If it is diagnosed early enough, how much of a difference it makes in terms of expense, in terms of everything else. So I am just trying to convey this to you that, listen, it's not intrusion. We also want our employees to get the benefit of the company's power to do good for them. Uh, and one of the things I'm very proud of is the fact that in every company, like, whether it be Bajaj Electricals or Polycab, where these are not so evolved companies by the time I had joined them. But we ensured medical insurance for self, spouse, and 2 dependent children. You might be surprised, didn't they have this? They didn't. I included parents when I was in Bajaj Electricals. The parents were included in the medical insurance. And over a period of time, 60% of the claims were parents' claims. But it was necessary to demonstrate your commitment to the employee's health. So I'm just trying to say, at the end of the day, it's very personal. At the same time, it's a small example, Tata Marathon. In Polycab, first year I said, listen guys, anyone who's going, I'm signing the check for them. 15 hands came up. Next year HR took it as an initiative. There were 75 hands. And the next year there were 200 hands with 50% paid by the employee, 50% paid by the company. And after that everyone paid themselves. And they ran 300 of them in the Mumbai Marathon. Now listen, a small gesture and the cascading effect of that.